Hello guys, this is Whispering 2007 here, and I have got a deck profile that I took to Aylesbury Regional yesterday and got 10th place. Before I go any further, going back to a previous video I made from Portsmouth Regional where I got 13th, I was told by the judges that they believed that I had qualified for Euros, but upon checking the list, the invited players list, I couldn't find myself on there, so I'm going to assume I didn't make it. But on this one here, top 7 got automatic invites. I know 2 players had already got invites because I did speak to them, they said they already had it. But the guy who finished in 9th place, I don't know if he has already made it or not. So if he has made it to Euros, I will probably have an invite. If he hadn't made it to Euros, I believe I've missed out on qualifying by 1 spot, and if that's true, that is really annoying, and it's just typical of my luck, to be honest. But anyway, we'll go through the deck profile. So start off with free JD. Seriously, I don't know why people aren't playing that card. You can easily drop it and your opponent has to deal with it there and then. If they don't, they're going to end up losing. So I do play the free JD, and that actually won me matches yesterday, so it's working really good. And with not so many trap cards being played at the moment, it's easy to get some good use out of it. Free Minerva, she sets up your plays. Free Ryden is doing the job, gets you your emails in the end phase, in the main phase, sorry. Triple Goblinberg, that card was a lifesaver yesterday. It just saves bricky hands if you open up with like a Wolf or a Felice. Or you can even end up getting turn 1 Nat Beast if you end up with Glow Bulb in hand. So yeah, that card was a lifesaver yesterday. I won matches off of it. Free Trick Clown and free Thousand Blades. I do keep forgetting to activate Thousand Blades effect when I'm taking damage, and I think that cost me matches yesterday. As because I know when you play online on DevPro, if you take damage, you do get the prompt, and of course in real life you don't get the prompt to activate its effect. So yeah, I need to find a way of trying to remember when I have Thousand Blades in grave. 2 Lila, I did drop it down to 1 on the advice of a friend, and I think you need 2 because you get an extra bit of use out of Minerva with it if you mill it, and you know, Monarchs, you need to get rid of their spell and trap their spell cards, either the March or the field spell. Felice got really good use out of her yesterday. It really worked well, and she was winning me games. Wolf, I saw it more in hand yesterday than anything, but you know, Wolf is a 21 beat stick, so I'm happy keeping it at 2. 1 Garroth, 1 Minerva. Jane's gone back in again because what I was saying about Minerva, I just really need use out of her, and I just needed the extra names because I went to a local in Oxford and I kept ending up with 3 different Lightsworns engraved, and I was just need 1 more. I got JD in hand, but anyway. 1 Erin won me against Cosmo yesterday, so she's still working really well. Or was it he? I don't know. Answer in the comments, please. 1 Glow Up Bulb. Bulb is Bulb. You know, I got lots of use out of Bulb yesterday, so yeah, keep it. It sets up so many of your synchro plays. Onto spell cards. 2 Nordin. Terrible joke, I know. 2 Charge. Rarity bumped 1 of them, so I've got 2 secrets now. 3 Solar Recharge. That's been rarity bumped to Old Sea. I've gone for 2 Galaxy Cyclone. As you know from previous videos, I was umming and ahhing between that and Twin Twister. I went for that more for the Cosmo match, for the Monarch matchup, because Twister is just dead if it's sent to grave, and plus you go up against any vanities or whatever, you can get rid of it. But I went for that in the main. I did get some pretty good uses out of it. Onto trap cards, another rarity bumped card, up to ulti on the breakthrough skills, because the ultras are just bending so much. It's just like there's no way I can play with that card. So thank you to Michael from the Brotherhood. He's I believe he's in Vegas this weekend for the YCS there, so I'll thank him personally when I'm at the Brotherhood next week. And finally, 1 warning and 1 strike. Yeah, got good uses out of those yesterday, and I ended up winning games off of warning and strike. So yeah, I'm happy with them. Extra deck, 1 Minerva. I would have lost games if it wasn't for her. So the card is really needed. 1 Castell. I ended up winning. I had a mirror match yesterday, which I was really surprised to meet up against, but yeah, Castell ended up winning me a matchup with comboing it with Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, steal their attack off their monster, and then spin it away with Castell. It was, I think it was about 4,000 attack I got it on. 1 Emerald. I never used it, but it's one of those cards where if you don't have it, you're wishing you did, but then when you do have it, you never use it. So yeah, I don't know. 1 number 101, never used it yesterday, which surprised me, because normally I get some pretty good usage out of it, but I think it's going to be one of those ones like Emerald, you take it out and then you really need it, so I definitely keep that I'm going to and ah about, but whatever I do I'm going to be wrong. So anyway, moving on. 1 Nordin. Nordin was really good yesterday. Nat Beast, never used it, and to be honest, there never really came an opportunity to use it. Well, I mean, I could summon it at one point, but it wasn't against a pendulum deck, so it would have been pointless summoning Nat Beast, or a spell heavy deck. But I will keep Nat Beast because it's a good card. 1 Ancient Sacred Wyvern. If you are not playing in it, if you're playing Lightsworn and you're not playing that card, you are fucking dumb. That card wins games out of nothing, and you know, I won several games off of that. So you really need to be playing that card, because it just gets you that really quick OTK, and it really surprises people when you summon it, and they're like, oh shit, you know, they're like that when they see it. And like in my Cosmo matchup, it was higher than Dark Destroyer by some margin, so I just summoned it, attack over Dark Destroyer, and it was in like a pretty bad situation. 1 Michael is Michael, extra name, can recycle cards, so always got some good use of it. Oli's Meteor Burst Dragon, great in the Cosmo matchup, used it very, very well in that. Level 8, 1 Blader, 1 Omega was getting some good use out of it, and by the way, I did get some good use out of Blader as well. Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend, I don't think I used that yesterday, or if I did, I don't remember. I went back to playing Stardust Spark. Honestly, with hindsight, I wish I didn't, because the idea of playing that was to protect my Floodgate cards in like Game 2 and Game 3, and I just never ended up using it. So I ended up taking Star Eater out for that, and there were just plenty of times where I could summon Star Eater, and I was just like, I was just thinking I would have been much better off playing Star Eater. And finally, 1 Trishula. Trishula I got plenty of use out of yesterday, and she can just turn games around for you. So yeah, I did play against a guy playing Mermails, but he Veiled that, and had he not Veiled it, I don't know if I would have been in a good position or not. But when you can get rid of 3 cards of theirs, that can be pretty game changing. Onto the side deck, 2 Veiler, did side them in, never used them. Mistake, another one I sided in my final round matchup, and I did have it set on the field, but I think they bricked in Game 2 and Game 3. So although it was probably the best card to use, or best card to have in that matchup, I never ended up using it because they bricked. Free anti-spell fragrance. I did use that in my final round matchup. I did side it in my round 1 matchup. Never used it in the round 1, but in the final round, that card's a winner. It just really helps. Free Masker Restrict for the Monarch matchup, but never played any Monarchs, so sad face. Triple Iron Wall. Side it in against Cosmo. It slowed him down for a few turns, and then when he got rid of it, I ended up trishing him on the next turn. So yeah, he sort of helped me out a little bit there by getting rid of it. One Raigeki, I did side into it, never used it, and Solemn Strike, I did side into it and did use it. It was one of those things I was like debating, do I main it or do I side it? I thought I'd side it because if you main it, your deck gets a little bit too cloggy. But yeah, Solemn Strike is such a beast of a card in the right situation. So yeah, that was everything I was playing. If you've got any changes, you know, just put it, or any changes you recommend, put them in the comments below. But I'll just go quickly through my matchups. Round 1 was I was originally meant to be playing Louis, but then we got repaired. Went up against Sean, who you've seen in some of my videos before. He has improved massively, and I you know, I'll give him credit. He's worked really hard. He's become a much better player, and he really had me on the back foot. And just unfortunately for him, in game 3, I had triple Judgment Dragon, so he got me down to 16. I blew up the field on my next turn, and then some of the other 2 instantly game. Round 2 was Cosmo, won that 2-0. Yeah, Ancient Sacred Wyvern OP, and like it gets over your my opponent had Dark Destroy on the field. Ancient Sacred Wyvern gets over it, and then he was just in both games he just kept having no hand, and I just took advantage of that. It was the only thing I could do. And then like when we got to game 2, he had a face-up tin can. He had a Cosmojo set, which I knew he had because he searched off the tin can. But I had Wyvern and Aaron on the field. Attacked his tin can with Wyvern. He didn't do anything, and then I went to attack his face down with Aaron, which he then flipped the Cosmojo up, trying to get rid of this set card. But I was like, no, you don't control a Cosmo card, so you can't use that. And yeah, it was one of those things where if you know your rulings, it can help you out. So yeah, so I won that one 2-0. Round 3 was against Louis, who I was meant to be paired up against in round 1. He was playing Mermail. He won that one 2-1, and we both made a few misplays in that. It could have gone either way, but he won it. I think he deserved it more. So yeah, fair play to him. Round 4 was the round from hell, and I mean that quite literally. Before we started game 1, the guy, he made a little bit of a fuss about the sleeves on my cards, and we carried on. We played through round in game 1. I ended up winning that one. And then when we'd done the siding for game 2, we're just about to start game 2, and then he kicked off about the sleeves to a judge. I do have the original ones, or what I was playing originally. There are, you know, white sleeves do get dirty. They are a bit plain, a bit worn through playing. I only used these ones in one tournament, and I'm a bit annoyed that they're only a couple of weeks old. I've only used them in one tournament, and I've been told they're not playable, so I ended up getting a game loss before we started game 2, and I had to run to the store, get some new sleeves, and when you're dyspraxic, trying to re-sleeve really quickly is not nice. I did get a hand from the judges, which they were really kind to me, and Callum, who's the head judge, I think he knew that I had a few hand-eye coordination issues, so did allow me a bit of extra time, because even he said he's very reluctant to give out 2 game losses in one match. but he ended up winning. I don't know if you call it game 2 or game 3. He ended up winning that one, so he won the match, and it feels really harsh to lose a match when you lost one game. Yeah, so to be honest, I would have had a bit more respect for him had he spoke to the judge before we started game 1. I don't know if he was complaining because I won game 1. I honestly don't know. But oh well, what's happened's happened. So he won that one. Round 5 was against a barrier statue / tribute stun deck. That was quite an easy win. I won game 1 in like record time. Game 2, I did have to wait a little bit, but yeah, I ended up winning that one but eventually. And final round was against a Magispector / Magician deck. He won game 1. He completely overpowered me, and then he ended up with the one that can bounce cards on the field, which I tried to play around, but he wasn't going to fall for it. And then game 2 and game 3, I think he bricked. So I ended up winning both of those quite easily. And like game 3, I had the extra solemn strike on the field that ended up getting rid of a pendulum summon that he tried, and then I had a solemn warning to back it up as well. So when I'd done the solemn warning, as soon as I put down the errand, he just scooped it up. So yeah, that was all my matchups. That's my deck. And anything you suggest or anything you want to ask, put in the comments below. But for now, this is Whispering the Wind 2007 signing out.